Hi, welcome to Logistics Unlocked, a podcast by Alpega. Here we focus on the decision shaping modern logistics. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Patrick van Denzel. Patrick, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
You've been in this industry for a while now. Could you briefly share your journey and the perspective you bring today?
Yeah, so interesting enough, I've actually been able to be around for a couple of waves. So it started with really manual work, I would say. And actually, interesting enough, my first job was actual manual planning as well. So I was working initially on paper, then entering planning into Excel. And then we moved to a digitalization kind of wave. And ultimately, we're now in the last wave where we're actually trying to apply, of course, insights directly into the world that we're working. So it's very interesting in those past, I would say, 2 decades that I've been in logistics.
Thank you, Patrick. Today, I like to talk about the influence around shipper and transportation. So let's start here. With inflation, supply risk, and service expectation rising together, what has become the biggest persistent challenge for shipper?
I think the biggest challenge is to really find that balance in the risk. Where do you focus your time? Where do you focus your effort? You're trying to combine effective operations with financial interest. And that's really where they try to find the right balance. And I think that's the biggest challenge that companies experience at the moment.
Which assumption about transport no longer holds for shipper?
Well, I think what really changed over the last couple of years already is that it's no longer really a procurement task to get that contract locked in. So in the past, you would negotiate a rate, lock in the contract, and you would move on, and you would let the execution actually depend on the individual teams. But there was still a disconnect, and you really see that people need to be all-inclusive now with different departments, including no other than operations as well. So it's very critical to any procuring of the organization that is including all countries and all people that have a say into the logistics modes.
Mm. Talking about trends, let's talk about AI. And to talk about AI, we need to talk about data. We now have more data than ever. Where does data still fail to translate into better decision?
So I think where it struggles is to actually put planning into real-life action, right? So we have all the data available, but the data doesn't always exactly match up with reality. You can plan for stability, but you will see that there is still disruption taking place. And that's where we really struggle to understand, okay, how can we use that data and plan for disruption and include that in operations?
So it's more like data and AI won't be a magic wand to fix everything.
Absolutely.
You still need to work on the operational level first to...
Yeah, every day is a different day in logistics. And you can see that AI can't fix that, but there's models to be more predictive, so they can actually include that in the risk assessments.
Interesting, thank you. Regulation, particularly in Europe, are moving from compliance to cost. How is that changing transport and sourcing decision for shipper?
So what you'll see is a very recent example, for instance, with the approval of the usage of ECMR. Now, ECMR on its own is not a regulation change because that's been actually vetted so many years ago already. But as you see now that it becomes vetted and approved by the European Union and ultimately becomes decisive in application, there is an additional pressure of cost being taken into consideration. So yes, there is a clear advantage because you're really going towards a paperless kind of future. But it also brings additional costs, of course, where shippers need to buy into new solutions in order to obtain compliance with those regulations.
Another trend I like to discuss with you is regionalization and nearshoring of the supply chain. How does that change transport strategy and trade-off for shippers?
Yeah. So on the positive side, you will see that it reduces risk because there's less distance to coverage. On the other side, it adds complexity. You have multiple lanes, multiple suppliers, multiple contracts to manage. So you'll see that there is, again, a trade-off to be found, like what's worth the investment and what's worth the risk that we're taking to centralize or decentralize and come closer to the customer. So I think there isn't a straight answer, what is best. But right now, if you talk about logistics, it's always about risk reduction and cost optimization. So depending on the type of supply chain that you're running, it could be either.
Thank you, Patrick, for sharing the insight. Before we wrap up, I like to end with our 2 signature questions from the podcast. So my first one for you is, what is one industry rule you will change?
I think one industry rule that I think we need to let go is that stability is the goal. I think stability is something that we strive for, but adaptability is what needed to actually get your supply chain going. And I think by now every organization understands that that's the ultimate goal.
And my last question for you is, if there is one advice you could give to our audience, what would it be?
Design your organization in such a way that you can make decisions and not just build reports. Ultimately, the person that has data is winning, but whoever acts on that data proactively is the ultimate winner.